So Malcolm Marx is out of the Rugby World Cup in what is a hammer blow. Well, for South Africa, obviously, but for the tournament as well. He's one of the world's best players. Huge news this morning, which I want to get into on this video. So please do hit subscribe, hit like, and leave your comments on this. I'm going to put a question out there. Is Malcolm Marx irreplaceable? Is he one of those irreplaceable rugby players? I would love to know what you think about that. Let's get into that. I'll just tell you where I am. That is the Scotland team just training behind me. Just doing an open training session for some of the locals of Nice. This is Stade Niçois, their stadium that I was outside of yesterday. By the way, that machine, just walked past it again, and it's definitely a scrum machine. So thank you for the people that got that right. And also, look, this is modern rugby. These days you need a step ladder. And this, which looks like a giant sumo suit, that is what one of the coaches will wear like a bag on their back. And it's for the wingers to practice their high kicking. So the ball will get kicked up, the coach will wear that on his back and sort of back himself up towards one of the back three players, and they'll practice jumping into the air with contact to take a high ball. So anyway, as Scotland are warming up, let's talk about Malcolm Marx. It's a big moment in Pool B, isn't it? One of the world's best players, there's no question. And it's an ACL injury, which, I mean, first and foremost, let's talk about the human factor here. It is just a massive shame for him. Years of training, bringing up to a World Cup moment, and you don't want to miss your World Cup. Sorry, I'm getting a bit distracted by Scotland. They're just starting their training. Yeah, it's just cruel for anyone to miss the World Cup in that fashion. Oh, God, they're doing some hard work. Bit of fitness work. Tell you what, the front row are pretty rapid. That's impressive. And that leads me on to Malcolm Marx, because he is a front row player who can do it all. He jackals better than most open side flankers. He ball carries as well as any number 8. He used to play back row himself in his younger days. And his set piece is solid. So it leaves a massive hole in that South African team. What are they going to do? Bearing in mind, Rassie Erasmus and Jacques Nienaber only selected 2 hookers, like out and out hookers. There's Fourie as well, obviously, who can play there, but they're going to have to call someone up, you would imagine. You just can't. There's a massive step down from Malcolm Marx to Bongi Mbonambi, and that's no disrespect to Bongi Mbonambi, who would get into most international starting teams. It's just Malcolm Marx is that good. I'm going to venture and say he's irreplaceable because of what he adds to that team. Bongi Mbonambi is very, very good. Hasn't quite been at the form we've seen him before, but South Africa are going to need him to get back there, aren't they? And in terms of what they do next, you would imagine they're going to call someone up. Is the obvious choice Joseph Dweba? You would think so, wouldn't you? Who, I mean, as a physical specimen goes, much like Malcolm Marx, is incredibly impressive. But he's not Malcolm Marx, is he? And he has some deficiencies in his game, set piece being one of them. But is he the best option they've got? It's a big drop off, isn't it? Huge issue for them. And how does that change the complexion in Pool B? It's tiny margins that are the difference between victories and defeats at this level, and that could be one of those tiny margins that turns the game between Ireland and South Africa in South Africa's favour, which obviously it doesn't really change anything from Scotland's point of view. They know they've got to beat Ireland in their final pool game and score some points in the meantime, which is why they're working very, very hard right now. Just one final thing on this though, I'll just put it out there. Do you think there's any chance whatsoever, and this is to lighten the mood, and obviously let me just before I say this, say that again, really cruel blow for Malcolm Marx, massive blow for South Africa, big blow for the World Cup, but do you think there's any chance at all that Rassie and Jacques Nienaber might get their heads together and pick a 5th scrum half? Replace Malcolm Marx with another scrum half. You would love to see it. I'll tell you what, just finish by having a look at these boys. So it looks like it's forwards this side and backs that side. And what is noticeable is how well the big units are doing. Let's just watch. You've got Xander Fagerson, WP Nell, and Pierre Schoeman. Just watch how, so they've got 10 seconds before the next rep. Just have a look at the wheels on these props.
Nice boys. Nice boys. Nice, Steve. Push through it, Steve. Push through it, Steve.
Finishing ahead of some of the locks and level with a few of the back row. That is, I'm impressed. I'm impressed. Anyway, leave your comments. Tell me what you think. Huge blow. Irreplaceable? We'll see. I'll see you on the next video.